Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's Ro, and today we are going to be playing with the Elf Shoe mini album from ScrapDivaDesigns. This is part of the November release, and I will link the link to this die set down below. And we are going to start off by taking apart all of these parts. Okay, so the biggest part you will be cutting 4 times, and then everything else you will be cutting twice. Now for this project I am going to be using felt and fabric, and so these are all the felt pieces that I cut already. And I am going to be calling this project Shelf Dangle, and I'm calling it that because I need to call it something. And technically the project doesn't end here, but for now that's what we're going to call it, Shelf Dangle. So for this piece, the biggest piece, you will be flipping the other one, because they have to mirror each other. So that's how it's gonna look if you put everything together. So again, you are going to flip the other one because they have to mirror each other. So there's that. So a pair of the biggest piece you will be putting aside, and you will sew those the remaining 3 pieces together. So that's how it looks when it's sewed together. If you don't sew, you can hot glue it. And then next, this part, I will be sewing those the zigzag parts, but just that for now. And there we have it. So as you can see, I didn't sew the whole thing. And once you're done with that, what I'm going to be doing is I have these really small jingle bells, and I will be I will be sewing it onto that piece of felt. It took me a while to figure out what color I wanted to use, but ended up using the gold ones. And those will go there. In the end, it doesn't really make a sound because they're way too small, but it's a perfect size for this project. Once you're done sewing all the bells, this is how it's gonna look like. And then the next thing we are doing is we are going to sew this onto the rest of our shoe. And as you can see, that part where we didn't sew, that doesn't have the stitching, that is where we are going to sew it. And now that once it's sewed, that's how it's gonna look. And again, this one is for the back. Up next, grab a piece of fabric. It'd be cuter if you have something that's striped, like a stripe fabric. And then I'll show you what I have. This is from a piece of fabric that I sewed into a strip. I don't remember what I used it for, but I've got extras, so I'm going to be using this. If you don't have a piece of fabric, you can use paper, but just make sure that's double-sided. So there's that. And again, stripe would be the perfect print for this. So this one, we are going to sandwich this fabric in between the two pieces of shoe that we have. So that's how it's gonna look. I'm trying to figure out how long I wanted it to be. Now the length would be depending on you, how long or short you want the legs will be. And make sure you add a few more inches, because you have to include the piece that will be sandwiched. So there's that. I think I did like 8 inches for this. Also, I wanted to iron this because it's so crumpled, but my iron is not anywhere near, so I left it at that. Again, this while waiting for me, I don't know what I'm doing here, but while waiting, yeah, I'm letting you know again that this is not what I planned on how this project will end. But for now, this is how it is going to be. And I will be sharing with you the next step soon of what I'm going to do after this part is done. So now that we have our strips, we are going to sandwich it. But first, let's just sew it onto the front shoe. So that's how it's going to look once it's sewed. And here we have our last felt piece, which is going to be for the back. And then what I'm going to do here is before I sew the back piece shut, I am going to fill it with stuffing so it will have dimension. And I will show you here how it's going to look once it's stuffed. And there we have it. So this is how it looks. I thought it came out really cute. And these two legs are dangling on the shelf while I still make the rest of the project. So thank you so much for stopping by. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.